24 million acres, 100 years young. America's national parks. Pristine, serene, and totally mind-blowing. From a daring ice landing
It's a trip of a lifetime. It's pretty cool.
to a secret retreat
It's hot. It's really sticky and soft.
and a desert castle oasis,
Wow, look at this.
Travel Channel presents National Parks Top 10 Perfect Pit Stops. Sledding in at number 10 on our countdown. A national park roadside attraction, Alaska style. Kenai Fjords National Park lies just south of Seward, where storms coming off the North Pacific Ocean feed and shape its 38 glaciers. Like the Harding Ice Field, the largest patch of frozen water in the USA, spanning a whopping 700 square miles. The ultimate way to explore this vast land of ice is by gliding over it, with Alaska's official state sport, dog sledding.
This is part of my bucket list. This is wonderful. I'm excited.
Take a scenic 15-minute helicopter ride from the town of Girdwood to our number 10 park pit stop, Punch Bowl Glacier.
We have 56 dogs here, ranging from some puppies that were harness breaking that are 12 months old to the oldest one is 11 years old.
Trained to run long distances, these super fit Huskies compete in the Iditarod, an 1,100-mile race from Anchorage to Nome, sometimes in blizzard conditions and sub-zero temps.
They're incredible athletes. These dogs can pull a 1-ton Dodge truck with a 3,000-pound weight in the back of it, and they will do this for miles.
These champs are chomping at the bit to escort you across the 2-mile snow-capped glacier.
The dogs are barking and barking. They're so excited, it kind of makes you feel excited.
And once they get going, good luck trying to stop them.
Basically, we kind of stand on the brakes and pray. They don't really stop.
They were fast, very fast.
So if you're looking for more than a walk in the park at Kenai Fjords, drop by number 10.
Everything in Alaska is bigger than life, and this just tops it.
Number 9 is the perfect spot to soothe what ails you. Located in California's Sierra Nevada mountains, Yosemite National Park possesses the tallest waterfall and some of the biggest sequoia trees in all of North America. It's also home to El Capitan, a legendary rock formation that entices climbers with 3,000 feet of vertical granite. That's a half-mile of straight-up rock. But the real showstopper is bubbling up from the ground.
Ooh, it's warm. It's hot. I love it out here. It's so beautiful.
Our number 9 perfect pit stop is the hot springs of Yosemite. Thanks to all the geothermal activity in the area, there's hundreds of them to soak yourself in.
We have so many hot springs in the Eastern Sierra because the Earth's crust is so thin around here and the magma is so close to it, and it heats the water, which comes out of the earth, and we're blessed with these great pools to soak in.
120 degrees coming out of the rock.
This is the bottom. It's really sticky and soft. If you rub it on your skin, it feels really good.
In 2013, Lonely Planet named Yosemite's hot springs as one of the top 10 travel destinations in the U.S. But those in the know submerge themselves in the only spring that has a waterfall.
This one's kind of a local sanctuary, and if you wanted to ever find out where it is, you just have to ask one of the locals.
If you're lucky enough to find it, you'll be rewarded with hot and cold plunge pools, like the ones you'd find in a spa. But here, they're free.
We've got 150-degree water coming down the hillside here, and it's a nice hot shower next to a stream that's about 30 degrees, so I get best of both worlds.
Yosemite's hot springs are chock full of minerals, like hair-healing calcium carbonate in the water, and skin-softening kaolinite in the mud.
It's a great place to come and just relax and kind of soak your body in the minerals and kind of recharge and re-energize.
So take a break at number 9, the hot springs of Yosemite National Park, and bask in all their geothermal glory. Snagging our number 8 spot on the countdown is a steakhouse in the shadow of Rocky Mountain National Park. Located northwest of Denver, Rocky Mountain is split by the Continental Divide, giving visitors the best of both worlds. Glaciers and waterfalls to the east, and lush forests to the west. This mountainous landscape is a big game bonanza, home to vast herds of deer, elk, buffalo, and bighorn sheep. More than 1 million visitors flock to the park in the fall to hear the bull elk's bizarre mating calls, known as bugling. Don't bother packing a picnic lunch at this park, because the Buckhorn Exchange is serving up a savory slice of the Rockies.
The lamb was great. It was super tender, a lot of flavor in it.
Denver's oldest restaurant has been featuring authentic cowboy cuisine like buffalo, quail, and even elk for over 120 years.
A gentleman named Shorty Scout. He was in the Pony Express. He palled around with Buffalo Bill. In 1893, he started this restaurant.
It's hard to imagine all the people that have been through this place throughout the years. It's been here so long.
President Teddy Roosevelt made a pit stop at our number 8 spot back in 1905 before hunting big game in what would become Rocky Mountain National Park.
I could probably actually spend a couple hours in here looking around, and the food's excellent.
Buckhorn is legendary for its Rocky Mountain cuisine, like rattlesnake nachos, and a local appetizer that might not sound so appetizing.
I like some of the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Otherwise known as bull's testicles. So stop in number 8 and find out why a trip to Rocky Mountain National Park isn't complete without sampling this signature dish.
Good balls. Delicious.
The temperature's about to rise, because we're heading deep in the desert for number 7. Lying on the border of California and Nevada, the 3.4 million acre Death Valley National Park is a land of extremes.
It has some of the hottest temperatures on record, 134 degrees.
Heat too much for you? Then swing by the park's coolest attraction, Scotty's Castle.
This is so cool.
In the early 1900s, a con man named Death Valley Scotty convinced Chicago millionaire Albert Johnson to invest in gold mines that didn't exist. Despite being duped, Mr. Johnson took a liking to Scotty and Death Valley. So much so that when he built a winter home there, he let everyone believe it was Scotty's Castle.
Yeah, a lot of people would say it is like seeing a mirage in the desert. They don't expect this big castle to be in this canyon with all this greenery around it.
Built hundreds of miles away from civilization in one of the most punishing deserts on Earth, Scotty's Castle, the biggest house in Death Valley, is a 32,000 square foot marvel of engineering.
Scotty's Castle is actually really amazing. It has a lot of rich history. There's some very ornate features about it. Custom built furniture and furnishings throughout the house.
Next time you're making your way through the hottest place on the continent, stop over at number 7, a majestic desert oasis. Number 6 is bringing some serious flavor. Break out your boots and cowboy hats. Number 6 on our countdown is a national park cook-off in the Lone Star State. Located in far west Texas, Big Bend National Park is an open range of deserts, canyons, and mountains, named for the curve of its Rio Grande River border. The 800,000-acre park is one of the biggest and most remote in the U.S. It's also the least visited. That is until November, when hungry tourists descend on Terlingua, an abandoned town just outside of the park.
How y'all doing?
They're here to partake in a Texas tradition, a good old-fashioned chili cook-off.
It's miles and miles from nowhere, and what a wonderful experience it is.
Since 1967, chili heads have been converging at the Terlingua International Chili Championship to show off their seasoning skills.
Your chili must be cooked from scratch. That means starting with raw meat and using your own spices.
We're doing cube meat today. This cook-off allows you to bring in whichever meat that you want to do.
This slow-cooked chuck wagon staple can be prepared any way competitors choose, with one exception: no beans allowed.
I've won twice with prunes. It is a secret ingredient, but I've made it public and it does work.
Cooks put just about anything in their chili.
I think it's an egg, but I'm not sure.
In hopes of winning the grand prize.
This is the first time I've won the big one. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't feel good to be the winner.
So if you want to spice up your visit to Big Bend National Park, stop by number 6 and sample some of the best chili the West has to offer. Our next perfect pit stop descends to the number 5 spot in the great state of Alaska. 240 miles north of Anchorage, Denali National Park is 6 million acres of wilderness wonderment. Towering over this vast, unspoiled land is the park's colossal centerpiece, Mount Denali. Topping off at 20,310 feet, this mountain is so big, it has its own weather system.
They told me it was big, but when you really see it, it was awesome. I was like, wow, that is big.
Getting to the top of this glacial giant is no easy feat. It takes 3 weeks and costs around $7 grand for experienced climbers to scale it. That's 35 cents a foot. Or you can soar to the summit in an hour on a flight seeing tour for just $450.
This has been a dream of mine since I was a small child, and this is our 35th wedding anniversary, and so we decided to spend the money and come up.
Head over to nearby Healy Airport, where Talkeetna Aero Services will fly you over the park and up to Mount Denali in a specially designed plane that lands on ice.
You can go on a Jeep safari elsewhere, you can go on a riverboat ride elsewhere, but there's nowhere else that you can go up and land right on a glacier. So this is it, this is probably one of the top tours that you can do up here in Alaska.
If you want a bird's eye view of the tallest mountain in America, but don't feel like scaling it, number 5 is a breathtaking alternative.
Other than the birth of my children, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
This is definitely money well spent. You should definitely do this when you come to Alaska.
Number 4 will whet your appetite for some of the country's most sought-after seafood. Maine's Acadia National Park has rugged coastlines, beautiful beaches, and Mount Cadillac, the first place in the United States to see the sunrise.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Thousands of rock climbers flock here to scale some of the nation's only sea cliffs and take in the stellar views.
It's just beautiful.
Acadia's surrounding waters supply more than half of all lobsters caught in the U.S., so you don't have to go very far to feast on Maine's finest. For a true taste of the park, head to Trenton Bridge Lobster Pound, a family-owned shack that's been serving up succulent shellfish the same way since 1956.
We have 6 stainless steel pots, and we cook in the saltwater because the saltwater gives the lobster a little more flavor opposed to just fresh water.
And since it's a family-run restaurant, once Warren's done cooking, his mom gets cracking.
Break off the claws, twist off the tail, break off the flippers, push the meat up through the tail, break off the knuckles, then we'll break the claw and pull the meat right out.
No secret recipe needed for this New England staple. At number 4, lobster is the main event. Only mayo and celery are mixed in with the meat to make their signature lobster sandwich.
The lobster itself has a nice flavor, and when it's cooked in the seawater, it doesn't need anything else added.
So if you savor the full-on New England experience while visiting Acadia National Park, make a pit stop at the Trenton Bridge Lobster Pound.
Wicked good, isn't it?
Camp like a queen at our #3 spot.
This is like deluxe living.
Grab your paddles and get ready for some high-class whitewater rafting at #3. Sprawling across northwest Wyoming and parts of Idaho and Montana, Yellowstone became the very first national park in 1872. Each year, more than 3 million visitors crowd in for a photo op at Old Faithful, a geyser that can shoot up to 8,400 gallons of boiling water 185 feet high. But this park has a pit stop that will blow you out of the water. At #3, take on the Yellowstone River Rapids with Far and Away Adventures. Trained guides take you along the Salmon River, the longest free-flowing river in the lower 48.
So, what it takes for luxury on the river is 2 big old sweet boats, all this gear, wine, and me.
Since you can't get to this pristine river by car, VIP paddlers are flown in.
We offer a level of service and luxury not provided by anyone else in this industry. We've attracted folks that would never, ever go camping.
That's because after battling the rapids all day, riders don't have to lift a finger. Far and Away staffers have top-of-the-line tents, 4-course meals, and certified masseuses waiting for them.
To me, this is not camping. This is like deluxe living.
And for about $3,000 per person, this campsite redefines roughing it. So ditch the geyser-gazing masses and indulge in Class 5 rapids with 5-star amenities at #3.
This is a top 10 bucket list. Everyone has to do this once in their life. Absolutely.
The #2 spot sits a stone's throw away from Moab, Utah. Arches National Park, home to the world's largest concentration of natural sandstone arches. With over 2,000 rock formations, this sun-baked terrain is a dream destination for hikers and bikers.
This is nature's playground right here. This is what it's all about.
After seeing the impressive arches, rent out the Hauer Rock House, where you can sleep amongst them.
This is the rock house that was built in 1989 between 2 natural rocks, with one rock being the wall on the inside and a natural opening to being a window.
This one-of-a-kind attraction is a 3-level geological marvel with 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and stellar views.
Wow, look at those cliffs. This is amazing.
Explore the area surrounding Arches, where countless movies and commercials have been filmed.
We offer trail rides where John Wayne and other movie stars used to ride.
The scenery and the terrain is real good for horseback riding. It's just beautiful.
So gallop over to #2 when you visit Arches National Park, because who needs 4 walls when you've got massive rocks?
If you've never found yourself between a rock and a hard place, this is the best place to be.
The #1 spot on our countdown is a pit stop in paradise.
This is the good life.
Ever dream of owning your own private island? If so, you'll be pinching yourself at our #1 perfect pit stop. 70 miles off the coast of Key West, Florida, is the Dry Tortugas National Park. This park is a cluster of 7 islands and a seaside fortress. Built in 1846 with more than 16 million bricks, Fort Jefferson was active during the Civil War. Today, tourists flock to the Citadel to learn its history and appreciate its surroundings.
The beaches are absolutely beautiful here. This is definitely a pretty cool spot to camp overnight. Next time I come back here, I think I probably would plan a camping trip.
Or you can ditch the pup tent and take the scenic Overseas Highway to an offshore oasis that earned the top spot on our countdown.
East Sister Rock Island is an offshore island on the ocean side in Marathon, about a quarter-mile offshore in the Florida Keys.
The Dry Tortugas area is known as the sport fishing capital of the world, so there's plenty of fish in the sea.
You'd have your line there in the water for a couple of seconds, and you'd be pulling out fish. Not bad living at all.
He promised me he was going to get me an island one day, and he did.
This is the good life.
If you want to experience a slice of the good life for yourself, Bob rents it out for around $7 grand a week.
You can go snorkeling, tubing, water skiing, sailing, kayaking. They're just endless.
Stop over at East Sister Rock Island in the Florida Keys for the ultimate in seaside seclusion at our #1 perfect pit stop.